Despite all the efforts by the Biden family and by Biden himself to insist that he's still in the race, Vice President Kamala Harris is being positioned as a potential replacement in the November election. And this development comes at a time when there are growing concerns about the president's health, his cognitive abilities, his sudden blank stares, especially after his recent COVID-19 infection and the underwhelming debate performances that he's had with Trump. Prominent Democrats, including former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, have shown ambivalence at best towards Biden's re-election, fueling speculation about a probable leadership change. Harris, as the sitting vice president, naturally becomes a leading candidate to take over Biden's position. However, her popularity and her ability to win against Trump remains contentious. Real Clear Politics polling indicates that Trump holds a slight lead over Harris, although this margin is narrower than his lead over Biden, and it suggests that while Harris may not be overwhelmingly popular, not overwhelmingly favoured, she could still be a competitive candidate. And more than that, she brings to the race something that perhaps isn't emphasised in the media. That is, she breaks that glass ceiling simply because of her gender. And I can imagine many people will be voting for her because of the dominance in the Republican campaign of this bullish masculinity, as exemplified particularly by Vance. Donald Trump, President Trump, and his campaign have already begun strategizing, apparently, against Harris, focusing on undermining her credibility, highlighting her perceived weaknesses, such as her distinctive laugh and her political stance. His campaign also leverages attacks on her loyalty and accomplishments, aiming to paint her as less qualified than other candidates. And within the Democratic Party, there are potential candidates who might be considered as alternatives should Biden withdraw. Names like Governor Gavin Newsom, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Secretary Pete Buttigieg, they come up in discussions. Obama's Michelle Obama, George Clooney, these figures have their own base support and could offer different strengths in a general election. But I'm afraid to take out Trump requires something enormous at this stage. And I don't think Ms. Harris, Vice President Harris, has that leverage automatically. She faces significant challenges if she becomes the Democratic nominee. Trump's established base, his ability to galvanize supporters, his messianic appeal at the moment as somebody who has survived an assassination bullet. He strides the world like a resurrected Christ. His aggressive campaign strategies pose substantial obstacles. Harris's success would depend on her ability to unify the Democratic community, to appeal to swing voters, to effectively counter Trump's rhetoric and campaign tactics. And my instinct is that she does that by being who she is. She does that without speaking. Nobody can shout out a Donald Trump. She needs a different tactic if she's going to win. And that means she needs to change the nature of the debate. I don't think she or the Democratic group have got that within them to see that far ahead. Also, it requires a huge amount of money to turn around the campaign at this stage. As the Democratic National Convention approaches, the situation remains fluid, with Biden still officially in the race. The Democratic Party must navigate these uncertainties and prepare for all potential outcomes. Harris, while a prominent figure, would need to strengthen her position address her vulnerabilities, to have a fighting chance against Trump. And Trump has called this race. And Trump is already preparing the initiative. This is a daunting obstacle course.